On to point number 3, meetings. Jehovah's Witnesses hold their meetings as necessary for salvation. Notice this quote from the circuit overseer, representative of the Watchtower, Charles Snuko. This is a very famous talk. I encourage you to look it up. Just look up Stay Alive to 1975 and you'll get it. It's one for the ages. When he was talking about promoting the failed 1975 fiasco, he tried to scare witnesses by saying, "Who will be there? The society makes applications of this scripture and says, those of us among Jehovah's Witnesses who are not regularly associating with God's people without good cause, such as being flat on your back, will not make it into the new order," as he put it. Do you think meeting attendance is necessary for salvation? I always thought it was. Maybe it's just cultural. Again, Jehovah's Witness culture is one of the things we're talking about. Jehovah's Witnesses hold various meetings throughout the week. When I was a witness, there were 4 activities we participated regularly, including, of course, the service on the weekend. So that's 4 plus the 3 in the week. Now, these 4 meetings were reduced in the 2000s. I guess salvation was getting easier. Now, how many magazines you got to read? Salvation before, you needed to read, 2 watchtowers, 2 wakes, and 5 meetings. Hold on to them tight. Now, I don't even know what they're down to. It's like, it's a little track you got to read. You got to read a track. Salvation's getting easier. I'm not happy for them. They don't have to go through the drudgery. But nonetheless, it doesn't take away from the fact that this is what they expected and declared necessary unless you're flat on your back for salvation. Now, you also have your conventions, right? You got circuit, district, and they were special. I'm not sure they changed those now all too, but still, salvation is involved, right? You need to get them. It's very important. Example is given of members who haven't missed a meeting in 75 years. I remember I knew one fellow whose father died. The next day, he went to the meeting. The next day, his dad died. I have the story of Freddie Franz told by Raymond Franz in his book about he was forced to go to his, I think it was one of his relatives' funeral by Rutherford personally because of his love of the full-time service at Bethel. And this is given as a good example. I cannot help to think of Jesus' words of the Pharisees who bind up heavy loads. Remember Jesus was talking about washing your hands. That was the heavy burden. Why? Because failure produced a sense of guilt in the worshiper that Jehovah did not command. What does the Bible say as to meetings? Does it support the Jehovah's Witness meetings, or is it a heavy load? Let's consider the scriptures they use. Almost exclusively, they go to Hebrews 10 and 25. Note, this is pretty well it. Not too much else. Sometimes they go to some in the Old Testament, all your children, all this stuff. Of course, it was like 3 times. Anyways, I'll digress there. Let's stick to Hebrews 10:25. Usually the only scripture they use when trying to get people to the meetings, scare them to the meetings. And again, it says here in this translation, it rephrases it. And let us consider how to provoke one another to love and good deeds, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Did you read anything there about when, where, or what material is covered? No. Jehovah's Witness meetings are non-biblical. This does not reflect the highly structured version of Jehovah's Witness meetings. Is there anything about a theocratic ministry school to teach people to get better speakers? No. Note Paul, what he said at 1 Corinthians 14 and 26. Now, I also encourage you, if you want to know what the first Christians' meetings were like, start in verse 11, read 12, 13, 14, and 15. But for our purpose today, we'll stick to 14, verse 26, where Paul is summing up problems that they were having in their meetings, and this is his counsel to them. Notice what's there and notice what's not there. Is it the same as today? Then you can say Jehovah's Witnesses have a biblical view of their meetings. If it is not, then it is not biblical, and their claims to do everything by the Bible is false. It says there in verse 26, "What should be done then, my friends? When you come together, each one has a hymn, a lesson, a revelation, a tongue, an interpretation. Let all things done be done for building up." For building up. That's the direction in the Bible. Not this highly sanitized question and answers by only elders or ministerial servants, number 1, talk 2, talk 3. Just meeting together by early Christians does not give the license, the watchtower, to change it to soteriological or salvation-based, where one's spirituality and relationship with God is involved. If one does not attend meetings, he has a sense of guilt and doom, that he will be destroyed very shortly at Armageddon. If one slows down in his meeting attendance, he is considered spiritually weak. Where does the Bible state so? It's beyond the things written. Unless you're flat on your back, brothers. It's now clear that it's not in the Bible, and the concept is not in the Bible. Just Christians meeting together does not give license for the watchtower abuses and misuses of the Scriptures. And we'll have more on that, but we'll have to save that for another day.